Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and today Disney gave us a special little treat. Oh yes, Disney has bestowed upon us the release dates of numerous of their upcoming films, including Star Wars Episode 9, the untitled 5th Indiana Jones film, and even Wreck-It Ralph 2, among others. This is a bit of information that will help get us excited for what Disney has coming down the pipeline. And the cool thing about it is that it's not all sequels, reboots, or remakes. So that's good, right? I'm happy with that. I don't know about you, but that makes me feel pretty good that they're trying some stuff that is still relatively original and not just constantly going back to the well. Not to say that I'm against some of the things that they are doing sequels of and whatnot, but still, I do like original material, and it's good to see that Disney has not completely shucked that off this mortal coil in order to focus on the things that are going to give them billions of dollars in return. I mean, granted, I get that why they would do it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, hey, some originality goes a long way in this industry, and it's high time we get back to it. First up is Star Wars Episode 9. Now, this movie was previously announced for release in 2019. So we knew it was coming, but many people thought that it would be coming in December 2019, following in line with Episode 7 and Episode 8, and also Rogue One. But it is now coming on May 24th, 2019. Here's the thing. Episode 8 was supposed to come out May around the same time, 2017. That was the original plan. It was going to come out around that time, and then something happened where they decided to push it back to December of 2017. And my theory for that is they looked at the response to The Force Awakens, granted the overwhelmingly large box office response to the film, but also probably more predominantly looking at how well the film did in terms of story and how fans kind of reacted to it, even though it was a kind of a rehash of A New Hope at times. And I think they wanted to go back and make sure that the film was going to be moving the story forward and not just rehashing The Empire Strikes Back. Now, I've always said that Star Wars has a cyclical time. Everything kind of keeps repeating itself, and that might be part of what plays into it. It also could just be lazy storytelling, and I'm willing to admit that one as well. But basically going forward, this is my prediction, we probably won't get any more Star Wars movies in December, because they want to capitalize on Memorial Day weekend, the largest movie-going weekend of the year. That is 4 days of insanity. Insanity I have dealt with for years working in the industry, and that is, oh man, they've just basically like condemned every movie theater employee ever going forward from that weekend. But the cool thing is Han Solo movie actually sets the tone, or the tone for that going forward in May of 2018 is when that appears on the screen. So that's going to be cool. So then jumping over into sad but understandable news, Indiana Jones 5 was previously set for July 19th, 2019. It has now been pushed back a full year to July 10th, 2020. And Harrison Ford is confirmed to return with Spielberg directing once again. Keep in mind, this movie is still 3 years away, like, a little under 3.5 years away. It would be better if it was 2.5 years away. So I don't quite know what the fuck is going on, because Harrison Ford is not getting any younger, right? He keeps crashing planes. This is not good. He needs to not die. He needs to live on. That's what we want out of Harrison Ford, goddammit. Hopefully, they'll be able to figure it out. I have a feeling they pushed it back probably because of the commitment Spielberg has with Ready Player One, which I know is shooting right now, as well as probably maybe like another Tintin movie. I've heard some talks about that, but at this point, it's been 5-6 years, so I'm pretty sure that franchise is not coming back, at least not in the way that they wanted. But I don't know why they would push it to 2020. There's got to be a reason for that, and it probably has to do with Marvel and Disney not wanting to overload the release schedule. And that might be part of what it is. Then, of course, you've got Wreck-It Ralph 2, aka Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. And that got an 8-month delay, moving from March 9th, 2018 to November 21st, 2018. And that makes sense. That makes sense. The first Wreck-It Ralph came out right around the same time in November of 2012. I think it was beginning of November 2012. The November 21st marks it as Thanksgiving Day weekend, which is a big time for movies to come out. Oftentimes, animated films do very well around that time. Disney especially releases its movies in the fall right around that time. That's when like Frozen came out in 2013 was that weekend, and then you had like Big Hero 6 the year after that. Zootopia, sorry, wasn't that, like Moana last year. So they definitely know that if they release a big animated film around Thanksgiving, it tends to do well. Them locking it down now essentially means that anything else that was looking to come out around that time is going to have to shift itself to not be caught in the wake of how much money Wreck-It Ralph 2 is going to do. Because let's be fair here, Wreck-It Ralph 1 is an amazing movie, and it's one that people have been waiting for a sequel for quite some time. It's going to take them 6 years to do it, which still kind of cracks me up that it's taken them 6 years. But it's coming. It's Ralph Breaks the Internet, and that's going to be a lot of fun regardless. So I'm very excited to see what happens with that. And I hope that they do keep the series going and that it doesn't take another 6 years for Wreck-It Ralph 3 to come out. But I also understand that they don't want to force it. They don't want to force these kind of stories. And they ultimately don't have to be fair. They have all that time. They have all the money. They have new stuff coming out. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm glad to see that certain things are coming back and that certain things are relatively new. Speaking of new, you've got Ava DuVernay's film, A Wrinkle in Time, that is now coming out March 9th, 2018. It was actually moved up from April 6th, basically taking the space that Wreck-It Ralph 2 moved out of. The first week of March is kind of a big week now. It has been since 2007 when they started releasing movies in the first week of March, thinking it was a dead time and movies doing pretty well. And I always like to go back to 300, Zack Snyder's 2007 film, which came out the first weekend of March and just kicked a lot of ass. And since then, you've had movies do exceptionally well in March all the way through. I mean, just look at March this year. We had Logan, we had Power Rangers, you had Beauty and the Beast, Ghost in the Shell. There were numerous big movies that came out in a non-summer month, and shit, Beauty and the Beast has done over $1 billion worldwide. So anything can happen. I mean, even February now is definitely doing a lot better than ever before. So people, they're spreading them out a bit, and people are still going to the theaters, which is good. Now, A Wrinkle in Time is very much going to be, it's an adaptation of a book that won the Newbery Medal in 1963, and it is the story of the adventures of Space and Time of Meg, Charles Wallace, and Calvin O'Keefe. They are in search of Meg's father, a scientist who disappeared while engaged in secret work for the government on the Tesseract problem. A Wrinkle in Time is the winner of that award. And what the Tesseract is essentially a wrinkle in time. So Meg's father, Meg and Charles's father, is working on something for that with the government. And that is, what they're going to be going on their adventure trying to figure out. So that does seem actually pretty cool to me. I want to see what they do with it. And I remember when I was a kid and, we'd get books that were recommended to us that had won Newbery medals. I don't see much of that anymore because I'm also an adult and I don't read a lot of those books anymore. But this one seems pretty interesting. And Ava DuVernay, if I can say that correctly, is a very talented director. And I can't wait to see how she tackles this particular subject matter. A couple years ago, Disney decided to start remaking all of their animated films, but turning them live action. At first, it was Maleficent, who I don't understand how the hell that movie made money, but it did. It did not appeal to me at all. I felt that it was really poorly done, but people flocked to theaters to go see it. So they followed it up with Cinderella. And Cinderella, I'm not going to lie, I really loved that remake. And now we just got Beauty and the Beast. We've had the other Alice in Wonderland movies and the Jungle Book. And we know that Disney is working on the live action version of The Lion King, directed by Jon Favreau, who also did The Jungle Book, and that has been set to come out July 19th, 2019. So effectively coming out when Indiana Jones was supposed to come out. And again, the mid-July release is a good time. It's roughly like it's right at the tail end of summer in the summer movie season. It's still going strong. Movies can still do really well during that period of time, and it's not battling the July 4th number. Now, obviously, July 19th is something that's supposed to come out 2 weeks after July 4th, so I don't know what comes out July 4th that weekend, but clearly Disney's wanting to give whatever movie that is enough of a lead in order for them to come out and still make some serious cash. So hopefully The Lion King will be good. These movies tend to just kind of be cut and pastes of the original. And so, like with Beauty and the Beast, I enjoyed it, but I felt to myself, I've already seen this before. Cinderella, I enjoyed it, but again, the same concept played out. Alice in Wonderland was a little bit different, and I never saw Through the Looking Glass. And I honestly have not seen The Jungle Book either, mostly because I just don't really see much of a point of these live action remakes. But I get it. Disney wants to make money, and these things are clearly making lots of money. So what the hell do I know, right? But this should be interesting because I love The Lion King, and I do want to see what Favreau does with it. I just really want the guy to go back to making Marvel movies. God damn it. And jumping over into pseudo original animation works, what you've got is Disney's Gigantic, which is their unique take on Jack and the Beanstalk. It will feature original music from Oscar-winning songwriters Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, who I do believe were the two people behind Frozen and Let It Go. Also, the internet is for porn, and everyone's a little bit racist if you are a fan of Avenue Q. Now, this film is set in Spain during the Age of Exploration. The film follows adventure seeker Jack as he discovers a world of giants hidden within the clouds. He hatches a plan with Inma, a 60-foot-tall 11-year-old girl, and agrees to help her find her way home, but he doesn't account for her supersized personality, and who knew giants were so down to earth. That is the synopsis for that movie. We just have a director for that one right now, Nathan Greno, and it comes out November 25th, 2020. It's actually been pushed back from 2018. It was originally announced for November 21st, 2018, and it now comes out in 2020. So clearly something happened to push back a release of this animated film by 2 whole years. What probably happened there is they have something for 2019. Actually, well, the next thing up will be the 2019 movie. And they figured, well, they'll just hopscotch it. So they're probably going to fill that time with something else. Actually, they did fill that time with Wreck-It Ralph. So we're kind of seeing the shuffling happen here where certain movies are taking certain dates, and that is Disney just moving things around in order to, I guess you could say, maximize their profitability. Next up, you have Frozen 2, which we already knew was coming. It had a placeholder date before, but now we have a specific release date of November 27th, 2019. Therefore, taking over for Gigantic, what it was, probably why Gigantic skipped over to 2020. Frozen 2 is a movie I am wholly uninterested in. I am absolutely positively 100% uninterested in. Frozen 1 is not a good movie. It's very well made, but it is not a good movie. And unfortunately, I'm alone in that. I know I'm alone in that. So many people out there love the damn thing. I don't personally get it, but whatever. No one can deny that it made money. No one can deny that it made a shitload of money. And that, of course, is something that is going to happen again with Frozen 2 coming out at the end of 2019. Like I said before, it's coming out right around Thanksgiving. So that's going to give it a big boost because it's going to be a big 4-day weekend. And Disney knows precisely how to market those films to maximize profit. And that's pretty much all Frozen 2 is to me. It's just a profit grab. Just the first movie was completely So I don't know. I'm like completely going to shit on this movie, even though my goal is to not shit on movies. I will give Frozen 2 the benefit of the doubt and wait for a trailer. But my levels of excitement are as low as humanly possible. And finally, out of this list of movie announcements and their schedules, we have the live-action comedy Magic Camp, which was previously scheduled for August 3rd, 2018, but now will actually come out 4 months earlier on April. That is taking over clearly for A Wrinkle in Time. That is that's what's going to be moved over for that one. Yeah, so that's what's taking over for Wrinkle in Time, and that one is about Roy Preston, the owner of a summer camp for aspiring young magicians, and Davine, and Andy, a former camper whose failing career as a magician has forced him to return to the camp as a counselor. Also returning to the camp is Andy's former partner and current nemesis, Darkwood, who is now a successful magician. When preparations begin for the end of summer magic contest between rival teams of campers, Andy and his team of ragtag misfits must go head-to-head with Darkwood and her campers. In the process, Andy is inspired by the young campers and rediscovers his passion for magic. And so this stars Adam Devine, Gillian Jacobs, and Jeffrey Tambor. And it's directed by Mark Waters. Mark Waters is a good director. I like him quite a bit. Yeah, this one kind of feels, it's a family comedy, but to me it feels kind of like, kind of dumb. A little bit dumb. It's like it's not gonna be like Heavyweights. You know what I mean? Like the Disney comedies like that from back in the day, from like the 80s and the 90s, so on and so forth, aren't there anymore. They're just not there. You're not gonna get like Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Chevy Chase. You're not gonna get those kind of movies anymore. It's a totally different marketplace, and this one just feels kind of which is probably one of the reasons why they moved it from an August release to an April release in order to just get it out of the way. Not that April's a bad month. April's actually getting better for certain films, but it also is kind of where some films go to die. April, October, January, in some respects, September. Those months are when films go to die, and they're probably just moving it from August into April in order to go, well, if it comes out and it goes away, it will die right before the summer movie season, which is where they're going to make a lot of their money, and they probably don't want it soloing up that particular part of the year. So that being said, these are all the movies that Disney's got coming out that we now know are confirmed release dates coming over the course of the next couple of years. There is some ones that make sense why they're being moved around. There's others like Indiana Jones that just make no fucking sense to me. But at the end of the day, this is what we have going on. I think it's an interesting lineup. It's ones that I'm definitely excited to see go down. And I do want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Are any of these ones you're looking forward to? Do you think that there's going to be some big breakout hits here, or do you think it's pretty much standard for Disney? What's your favorite movie on this list? Which one are you more excited to see? All those questions. Just post your comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater, a division, a subsidiary of Mundane Matt, and I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.